make sure that our voices are heard loud and clear.
Okay, cool. And what's that voice? What's your, like, how are you feeling today? Like, where are you at?
Well, I think that we are finally at the place where you hear the majority in this country rather than the loud minority that it's been for such a long time. Unfortunately, conservatives for quite a while have merely been an echo, but now we really are turning out to be a voice because look, at 2008, we made an egregious error when we elected Obama with the mantra and the motto, yes, we can. But now you see lines of people out here that's saying, no, we won't. Like, we're not going to allow a president to tear up the Second Amendment, to abort babies and such. And that's why we voted Donald Trump in. And it's obvious by the crowds here tonight that he is both loved and hated, but he's hated by the right people. He's hated by the people that hate truth. And so for all these people that are running around today saying that, oh, he's full of hate speech. Look, truth only sounds like or hate to people that hate truth, So you see it tonight, lines of people that have been here for 5-6 hours lining up in 99-degree weather. I think that says a lot for exactly who Trump is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right? I hear you. What was, what do you think, what damage did Obama do in order to bring this about, do you think? Like, what was the biggest kind of thing that sort of backwards motion that the country took?
Well, I think that there was this ideology that was pushed that essentially said as soon as we have a black president that there's going to be racial unity and healing in this country. But you're talking about somebody who was a divider in chief. You're talking about somebody who took office, refused to back police officers, refused to back law, and instead stood behind the lawless and now started feeding this mainstream media baloney that whites hate blacks and blacks hate whites. And unfortunately, look, there's a little joke that's going around that says this: what's no meat and all bread? A nothing burger from CNN, Yeah. And what we have today is we have mainstream media that is reporting absolutely fake news, and they're doing so at the expense of the American people, trying to rile individuals up. You see it over there across the street, which the police department's doing a phenomenal job at keeping peace here. But you see people over there that are so full of vitriol and false facts,
And where do you think that comes from? Like, where do you think they get
that? That comes from people keeping up with the Kardashians and not keeping up with world news, okay? That comes from a generation that gets their news from BuzzFeed and the internet and fake news CNN and MSNBC and every left-leaning. See, the worst mistake, in fact, I would dare to say the only mistake our founding fathers made was that they assumed that the press would always be integral, that there would always be a certain amount of integrity within the press, and that they would hold true to facts. But unfortunately, you're not seeing that. You're seeing bot press, which is why I'm glad that there's people out there like you that are coming to the streets and getting real news instead of fake news.
Yeah. Where do you think that changed? Like, where the press began to move away from informing people and more towards an agenda-driven?
You know what? As soon as money started getting involved, and the problem is this, is that conservatives for a long time, up until this point, conservatives have simply found themselves in the shadow, remaining silent for fear of being called a racist, a bigot, a homophobe. And so if you stood for traditional family values, or if you stood, for conservative principles, you were automatically labeled by the people who are intolerant and yet wear tolerance on their t-shirt, And so you've seen this shift now of people who are out here willing to wear their red hats bravely through some of the mongering crowds here and the people that are throwing stuff and tossing urine and such. But you see people now that are saying, you know what, we're not worried about political correctness, we're worried about correctness, period.
Okay. So, final question, it's kind of a big one. What do you think it'll take to mend this racial divide or even cultural divide that we have right now? What is it going to take, and can Trump do it?
Prayer and common sense, okay? That means not buying into all of the mainstream media lies. And I'm going to keep going back to that, okay? Because unfortunately, what you have is you have people like George Soros and others that essentially want to fund a divide and bring us to a point of civil war, okay? So what do? They go in and buy up the media, and then you have people that are going and fighting the 1% of African-American people that are running through Ferguson and burning down buildings, and then they show it to a majority of the people and try to paint a picture And then you've got, Charleston or Charlottesville, and you've got these less than 1% of morons that are out there that are full of hatred and bigotry, and you've got the news trying to sell it to the black community, but that's all of these people, So really what we have to do is we have to strip away mainstream media and get back to this sort of media where people are hearing what's really going on. And we have to get over the taboo of talking about politics and religion in public. That is the government's way of trying to control a message. It's imperative and important for a republic and a democracy to survive, that we're able to talk and that we're able to disagree, but do so with civility.
Yeah. Well said.
Awesome, brother.
Are you running for office or something?
No.
You're a really good speaker. You
Jesus.
should consider it.
Yes. Chandler.
Chandler. Cool.
Yes.
So, somewhat around the area.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So, what brings you here today?
Well, I waited for him to announce
Well,
that he was going to run for president.
Really?
I watched every minute of it. My husband blessed his mother, who is 90,
Uh-huh.
myself and his
We can walk
sister,
with you if you want.
to the inauguration. So we went to the inauguration.
Oh, you went to the inauguration. How was
yes. Oh my gosh, it was awesome.
Yeah?
Absolutely amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you were ready before he even announced being president.
Oh yeah, I was like, do it.
Yeah.
So when he announced, I went bonkos.
And what was it that grabbed you about
If
him?
you will look back in history in some of his interviews, he's been right on target about our country for years.
Okay. Like,
And-
what kind of stuff? Like, what's...
The way the government's running our country, the veterans, all of this kind of stuff, I mean, he's always said Democrats are just not doing what they're supposed to do in our country. Somebody that is outside of that little nook of politics has got to take over. So when I saw that, I was like, get it.
That's who you were waiting for?
That's who I was waiting for.
So it's been 6 months he's been in office.
Yeah.
How do you feel he's done as a job?
I feel he's done a great job considering all the rhetoric that they try to throw at him, and try to put it on a different track. For me, it's like, get the hell out of his way, let the man do his job.
Yeah, do you feel like this is all a distraction, this kind of race stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's no more racist than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not a racist. I don't see color. So, it's get the Democrats and the liberals the hell out of the way and let the man work.
Yeah. What do you think they are?
They're just a mean people.
Yeah.
They are. They're filled with hate, and that's really sad. But you see it when you go on the Facebook and read all these messages from these people. It's sad how much hate is out there.
Where do you think that comes from?
Well, do some history on the Democratic Party way back. And it stems from, you find your answers if you truly do the homework in history.
Yeah. And how do you think, so going back to slavery and that kind of era, how do you think, how do you think they've at least presented themselves as if they're different?
The Democrats?
Yeah, at least tried to present themselves,
I don't think they tried to do
Oh, you don't even think
Oh, no. They were right there in the open that they were for slavery.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about now, like over time now.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
What they do is they lie to the people that they need the vote from, and then they turn their back on them.
Yeah.
That's like you. If you were out there hungry and I say, I'm going to go get you a meal, and you wait for me to come back for that meal, and I never show up. Hello?
Yeah.
Grander scale by them, but look what the African American people, they gave their vote. What did they get from it? Nothing.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example of it not going anywhere. All talk.
And what do you think? What is let's say your top priority for Trump? What do you hope he gets done? We'll say the end of even a year, or we'll say even the end of his first term.
Well, I think the tax reform needs to be addressed. I think Obamacare needs to get the hell out of there. I think our vets need to be taken care of, and I think welfare needs to be cut. I need the deported, the people who are here illegally. Get some of that out of here, and we'll have some money for this country. They take more money. You just spend a very little bit of amount getting them out of here, and you're going to make that back in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So let's go. And that's not because I don't like illegals, but when you see somebody who's been here for 20 years and they're crying because they're being deported, 20 years you've been here. you couldn't have become a citizen in 20 years. So, there's just a lot of things that, to me, needs to be changed, and I think he will do that.
Yeah.
The war and all that kind of stuff, I truly believe he has a hand on ISIS. I truly believe the first move he made was huge. Mm-hmm. He spoke, and I think he has a great reputation or a great camaraderie and relationship with the other countries. Mm-hmm. And I think he knows how to calm people down and get them to work with us as opposed to fight against us.
Right. So on that,
he's not a hate monger.
Yeah, of course. So the way he speaks sometimes, it can be, aggressive and straightforward.
Yes. Yes.
You like that about him?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. We have to give this guy some credit. Number one, he's not been in the political ring. Yeah, he's a little crass maybe sometimes, the way he comes across. But he sure as heck knows what he's doing. The more he talks, the more he gets into, the more presidential the man looks, sounds, and feels.
Right. You think he's,
Yeah,
he's getting into
he's into the trenches, and he's, God bless his heart, inherited a mess.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to take for him to succeed? What needs to happen?
Get the crap out of the White House.
Yeah.
Quit playing games and get them out.
So that's, so...
I look at some of this and I'm like, oh my gosh, don't they realize that this guy, has got cake coming out his mouth and a knife in his hand? Be careful if you turn around.
Yeah, right,
so,
right.
And there's
so
a lot
of
of
the figures that you think that are kind of poisoning the well a bit.
Too many.
Too many? McMaster? Is he one?
Yeah. What's his name? Cruz? No.
Ted Cruz? No.
No. The dark-haired guy that's right there in the middle.
Kelly?
No. Damn it.
Dark-haired guy.
And everybody knows that he's just, he speaks out one side of his mouth, and he's definitely working for the Democrats.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it's obvious. God, I can't think of his name. I feel so stupid.
I probably know too.
I'm on here.
It's okay. I can't think of his name either.
I could tell you at any given time. But so there's still a lot of people in there that need to go.
Yeah. What do you think about?
There's Muslims in there that still need to go, and not because I don't like Muslims, but because I know what they stand for. They are Barack Obama supporters, and we need them out.
You think they're in there for him?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. So. Yeah. Yep.
What do you think about Steve Bannon getting fired? What's your feelings of him?
I think Bannon kind of has showed himself true to Trump.
Yeah.
Outside of it.
Right.
I don't know the inner workings of that, but I truly believe that man absolutely 100% supports. Thank you.
There we go.
Fine, thank you so much.
Need a drink.
Supports.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think everything he does. I truly believe that. I think it's time now that somebody steps up and gets the Hillary crew and all those corruptions, to include the last president. It's time to get these people down where they need to belong, where they belong. It will really, to me, will quiet some of this rhetoric amongst the protesters.
Think so? Once
yeah.
Do you think Hillary?
Soros, Hillary, all of them.
Sure.
They're nothing but rabble rousers and pedal stirrers.
Do you think Hillary belongs in jail?
I do.
Yeah? You
Oh,
think?
100%.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think she'll get there?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. If you're a believer in prayer, yeah. I do. I do.
Yeah. All right. We'll see.
So,
what was your name?
Cindy.
Cindy, thanks.
And your
Thanks
name
so much.
was?
John.
It's just a nameless space marine.
Oh, very nice.
It's dope.
So what's your, can you give us a little background of what brings you here?
Well, I'm here to defend who are you with?
Oh, we're
From
independent.
Tucson,
Yeah.
independent people.
YouTube?
YouTube stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm just here for free speech and physical fitness.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. All right, that's a unique. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. Here's the other side.
Nice.
That's some interesting. This is definitely the most interesting side I've seen today.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, are you going to the event today?
No, obviously I won't be going inside.
What's that?
I said obviously I won't be
Oh,
going
I didn't
inside.
see that. Okay, well, yeah,
Oh.
probably not then. Huh?
Yeah.
So, physical. Who's the guy on the other side? Is that? Did you say that was you?
No, that's not me.
Oh, who is that guy?
It's just a space marine.
Okay. So, can you tell us like what's your feeling today being here? You feel like
It's hot. It's really
It's
hot.
hot as hell.
I'm
Yeah.
losing my consciousness.
Yeah. You feel like it's a positive atmosphere in the place, or?
Well, a lot of people think that I'm a liberal, and I don't understand why. I don't think they understand my poster, and so they
I
get confused.
honestly
and they-
misinterpreted too.
Yeah.
I was at first. I was like, oh, okay. No,
Well-
yeah.
I'm worried about the internet because ICANN is just basically running around doing whatever they want, shutting websites down, you know what I mean? It set a
Okay.
precedent. Somebody made a fat joke about some woman, and then this website's been kicked off. Well, there's been I'm sure if you saw the news, there's a website that got kicked off, basically Planet Earth.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's a completely unaccountable organization, ICANN. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it was for making a fat joke.
Right, a fat joke about that car incident in Charlottesville.
Yeah. Okay.
The lady died, right?
Yeah.
And they made a fat joke about her, the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's the front line of free speech, fat jokes.
Yeah. So that's where you come from. Is like saying that you should be able to say that.
You should be able to say whatever you want, yeah.
Okay. Is there no limits?
Well, you know,
After these guys, yeah.
not slander, obviously, trying to overthrow the government or anything, but yeah.
Violence.
Yeah.
Riots and stuff like that. Have you? So what? That's interesting that people misinterpreted your sign. How did you? When you were over that side, what kind of? Or did you even go on that side?
Well, I'm parked in that building, so yeah, I got to see it all. Really interesting.
Yeah, we went through there too, and we were getting looks and all kinds of.
Yeah, I don't know if you know what this is. Do you know what that means?
Soy. It's like a Jewish thing, isn't it?
Right, yes. The Huffington Post, they put an article up the other day about Steve Bannon leaving the White House, and that was the title of the article, Goy Bye. And then they panicked, and so did all of social media, and they changed it to White Flight. It's very weird.
Oh, okay. Do you think that they had it shut down, or do you think that there was just more fear, kind of they don't want people to?
I guess people don't like being called that word. I don't know why. It's weird.
It means you're not Jewish, right? Isn't that
Right.
what Goy is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So what do you hope happens here tonight at the event?
Oh boy. I don't know. Maybe Trump will, quickly backpedal and rescind his order for 4,000 more troops in Afghanistan, because I think that's kind of a wrong move. But it's just like my opinion or whatever.
You're against, foreign wars. Yeah. 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 So you feel like that was the wrong decision going forward from what he said last night about going into Afghanistan, ratcheting up the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very coincidental, with Steve Bannon leaving the White House. I'm sure it's totally unrelated.
So yeah, actually, that was going to back it up. So what do you feel about that? About the Bannon being fired? Like,
I don't know. I mean, does it really even matter? I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Hopefully, there is still going to be a wall. But if Kushner gets his way, I don't know.
you feel like Bannon almost has more power at Breitbart to sort of shape the conversation?
I don't know, man. Breitbart's not as edgy as it thinks.
No,
I don't think
they're
so.
out of the game.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of alt-right kind of stuff.
What's the alt-right?
It's like kind of like sort of watered down, like basically like old school conservative, like sort of John McCain.
So neocons?
Yeah, basically, like what do they call it, rhinos, Republicans in name only kind of thing. Even more so than that, just sort of, I guess, just status quo, So I don't know if that's, maybe Breitbart's not that, but I don't know. Just kind of spitballing here. Yeah. So, all right, cool. So you don't really have any sort of expectations. So how are you, and it sounds like you're kind of mixed on Trump in general. Are you sort of?
Yeah, sometimes I like him. I like him when he talks about immigration. I like him when he talks about the wall. I don't like it when he orders the government to fire missiles in Syria or, like troop surges and stuff. Not interested in foreign wars.
Yeah, I hear. Are you military? Are
What's
you
that?
military?
No.
Oh, okay. For some reason you had the air of very kind of like well-spoken. All right. So what is it? What's your? Why are you against foreign wars? I'm against them as well. What do you?
It's just a waste of money. Waste of money, waste of lives. Not interested.
Yeah. Do you think that starting the war is almost like a sort of a diversionary tactic in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's definitely somebody who's trying to profit from it, who wants to expand their territory into the Middle East. Sure, seems like that.
All right, final question. What do you feel like people misunderstand about you and your points of view? You're saying that you misunderstood, and do you get that often? People misunderstanding you, or
You trying to call me autistic?
no, absolutely not.
I don't know. I think people just don't understand the sign.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think they just misunderstand the sign. You know, they don't understand it, and so they assume that it must be the enemy.
That's the problem, right? Friend or enemy. There's no in between.
I mean, I wore the hat. I'm trying to signal as hard as I can, you know, but whatever. You have a gun. Do liberals carry guns? I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, man. Thank you so much. What was your name?
It's Ray Howard.
Ray Poward.
Howard. Poward.
Cool. Ray Poward. All right. Sweet.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Good luck.
There is no such thing as native white people to America. You are guests to the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island. There is no such thing as native white people to America.
Okay. We're high school students.
Oh, you're in high school. All right. Cool. All right. That's different. We haven't got any high school students.
Oh, okay.
So So we're kind of like we're trying to get the Trump supportive view. Where you know, all we hear about.
Well, we can give you that.
Yeah. So that's what we want to hear. Is like.
ask this guy.
So, how do you feel like you're misunderstood by the other side?
I feel like a lot of them, like for example with Charlottesville, there's a lot of generalization. Just because there was a few radical neo-Nazis, it doesn't mean that we're all like them. And I think the fake news media portrays it like that. Which is why they're fake news.
Right. Just
CNN.
one side versus the
Yeah.
other. Okay.
I think they just don't like look at the big picture. They see, okay, this is this and that is that. They don't see the whole thing. They don't take a moment and look at everything.
Okay. And so, what do you guys? What brings you? What makes you support Trump? What was your?
Well, after this election was kind of brewing up, it was starting to get me interested in the controversy around it. And you know, you realize, you look around. I love how Trump says it as it is. He's not afraid to call everyone out on their
This guy will do the
hypocrisy.
same thing.
Oh yeah.
He'll just always say whatever's on his mind.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I like Trump. And also, I think now he needs our support more than ever. You know, all these people marching around, Trump's not our president. That's such a joke. He is your president, whether you like it or not. Thank you.
All right, sweet job, Josh. If you had a message to send to the other side to try to bridge that divide, what would you say?
Oh, and I was working on this earlier, wasn't I? Shoot.
I would
let's see.
say open your minds.
Yes, I would say look for your self, as they said in the Bible. I don't remember the right wording. You know, before you call out someone else's hypocrisy, look at your own. I see signs out here saying, "Oh, we no to bigotry," but half the times that's what you guys do. So I guess, yeah, like he said, open your mind. Just be willing to admit when you're wrong, and maybe the other side has a better point.
All right, cool.
We're falling behind.
Great.
Oh yeah, I'm sweating like a pig.
All right. I know we got the nice shade here too. That's nice. All right. How are you guys feeling tonight?
Feels
good here. Yeah, I know. This is not bad. So, what are you from around this area?
I live in Chandler, originally from New York, as you could tell by the accent.
All right.
Not the city, Long Island.
state.
Big difference.
Yeah, there is a big difference.
Big
I know. So, what are you excited about tonight? What do you hope happens?
Well, after his speech yesterday, I don't know if he could top that. I needed a cigarette after that speech. Okay. But I just love coming to the rally to meet like-minded people and to listen to my president. Because he's everybody's president. He wants to help everyone, even those that hate him.
All right. So speaking of that, so we want to give a voice to the supporters. We hear tons from the opposition, the mainstream media.
Right.
We know this. So what would be your message to the other side if you had, say, they let you talk for a few minutes?
Give the man a chance. He really, really wants to help people. And you know how I know this? who would give up their billionaire lifestyle to be insulted, humiliated by everyone, have his 10-year-old, now 11-year-old son and his beautiful wife insulted, humiliated, and have threats to try to help the American people for free because, as you know, he's donating his paycheck.
Why do you think he puts up with this?
Because Trump is a New Yorker. He's been a businessman his whole life. And does he say some things that maybe are not politically correct? Yes. But those are just words. His actions speak louder.
So what's like your main... Have you been a supporter for Trump for a while, since the beginning?
Yes, I've been on the beginning. I've been on the Trump train since the beginning.
All right. What was some of the issue or the issues that kind of grabbed you that he was talking about?
I wanted him to save this country. This country is going in the toilet.
Yeah.
I know I don't look it, but I'm old, and I remember when things were different.
Yeah.
Okay, when things were better, when you were responsible and you took responsibility, you shook somebody's hand, and that was an agreement. Everybody works. You worked for a living. You rewarded good, not bad.
Right.
And that's what, there's going to be a little pain because people are going to have to go back to work.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be jobs.
Right.
And we can be proud of our country again.
Right.
We're not going to be the laughing stock of the world anymore.
All right, great. Thank you so much. What was your name?
Stacy.
Stacy, Chuck. We're just independent guys. We throw our stuff up on YouTube. We're just trying to get some points of view from the supporters, so not filtered by the media and all that kind of stuff.
I'm David Rawls. I live in Florence. I'm 74 years old. I've devoted the last 58 years of my life to defending America. What I discovered is beyond belief, but the god-awful truth is that this country is being turned into a Soviet-like monarchy through the unaccountable, I don't know what the right words are, but through the executive branch, because they have been able to make themselves unaccountable. I'm not talking about Trump. Trump is trying to turn it around, but these federal bureaucrats want everything managed and controlled by them. Their idea is that if they can micromanage everything, including your life, they can create utopia. Well, I don't think so. That won't happen until the good Lord comes, but they're putting us back under an old world, power-centered, power-crazed system in which a few bureaucrats have all the power, and you and I become peons or peasants, basically property of the system. The founders said that you and I are the sovereign and the government is the servant. I've been in federal court 10, 12 times over the last 50 years, and eventually I realized, I saw between the lines that their attitude is, Mr. Rawls, you don't have any rights. If and when you have some rights, we'll let you know. Otherwise, you don't have any rights. I'm not puffing it up. That's what I discovered. If somebody would have walked up to me when I was 15 years old and told me what I now know for an absolute fact, I would have laughed for 5 minutes. I wouldn't have been laughing at them. I would have been laughing at how preposterous and absurd. I would have said, man, don't you know this is America? Well, it's not much America anymore. It's all power, and the power is in the hands of too few.
Yeah. Who do you think? So where does Trump fit into this? You said earlier
think
he's fighting against...
He wants America to be great again, and he wants to get rid of a lot of this executive branch domination of our society and our lives. Pardon?
The regulation, the agencies, there's 1,000 agencies. I mean, they're figuring up ways to handicap us, corral us.
I read in the paper the other day that there are 2 million federal employees. Is that possible? Is that possible?
Oh, union wages.
My family and I, we had millions of tons of flagstone, like this material here. I don't know if this is the real thing with a coating on it or maybe an imitation, but we had millions of tons of high-quality flagstone up in the Williams area. In 1959, when I was 15 years old, the Forest Service secretly helped, the Forest Service and the Interior Department secretly helped the railroad trespass. The purpose of that was to have a pretext to attack us to steal our flagstone quarries. They attacked our flagstone quarries in the Department of Interior, The problem there was that there's no jury. They do not allow juries. All you have there is one of their own employees making the findings of fact and basically executing you with his forked-tongued decisions. So for the last 58 years, I've been trying to expose them. 30 years ago, people would look at me, they would politely indulge me and walk away, and they say, boy, that old boy probably just got out of 24th Street in Van Buren, or he needs to be put there. Now people listen. A lot of people listen, yeah. Well, people are waking up, but like I heard in church when I was about 12 years old, the pastor prophesied all of this, and I got mad at him. I got really mad. I said, that man doesn't know up from down. This is America. That'll never happen. So what happened to me the next 58 years? I became the #1 victim.
What they prophesied.
They do away with the statutory law by way of implementing their regulations. Their rules and their regulations cancel out the statutory law. The law that my dad took his millions of tons of flagstone by, it's probably the most simple law ever put on the books. In one long gangly sentence it says, well, it starts out by saying, be it enacted by the Congress assembled that any person authorized to enter the public lands under the mining laws of the United States may enter lands that are chiefly valuable for building stone. Translated into more down-to-earth language, it simply said that if you went out on the national forest that was open to mining claims, you could, if you found valuable building stone, you could file placer claims on it and it became your property. Well, the Forest Service and the Department of Interior, after helping Santa Fe trespass, they attacked us in the Interior Department, alleging that the flagstone was not valuable. After 20 years later, after they occupied our property, guess what the Forest Service did? They turned around and started leasing our quarries to other stone producers by U.S. Forest Service use permits. Now, does that sound like talking out of both sides of your mouth? Yeah. The old Indian chief was all too correct when he said the pale face or the white man from Washington speak with forked tongue. I'm not against government. I'm just 100% for good, honest, limited government.
Yeah.
When government gets to the point that it's basically totalitarian, I had my life trashed by totalitarian government. Yeah. I have no grandkids, no children, no wife. On the 12th of April, in the U.S. Federal District Court up in Flagstaff, I had a severe heart attack. Somebody saw the expression on my face. They talked me into calling the emergency people. I got over to the emergency room along with my 96-year-old neighbor that went along just for the ride. She fell and hurt her knee in the process of trying to get into the emergency vehicle. At the emergency room, they told me, they said, Mr. Rawls, you're having a heart attack. I already knew that from the EMT people. They told me my blood pressure was more than 180 over 80 something, and that you're having a heart attack, Mr. Rawls. In the emergency room, I'm sitting there, and it's really bright in there. I mean, it was really bright in there. I've got severe pain, not enough to die. All of a sudden, it went from very bright to zilch, to nothing. It didn't go from white to black. It went from full consciousness to no consciousness. I woke up in the ICU upstairs. They told me that you had a heart attack. I don't have any grandkids. I don't have any children, but you do. And I've been fighting 58 years for them. Honest to God, I have. I've given everything. I've sacrificed everything. America was extremely hard to come by. Those people that fought for America, they marched through the snow. They didn't have boots. They had linen wrapped around their feet. Blood was coming out of the linen. Only 1/3 of America fought for America. 1/3 was apathetic. 1/3 was against. 1/3 was royalist. It's my firm belief that Hamilton and his Federalist Party have been taking this country down. Jefferson is the hero. He had slaves, but he turned against slavery. He was a member of the Virginia House of Burgesses. He voted for a bill to outlaw slavery. You could not just give away your slaves because they were an asset. If you were in debt, you could not give away any asset because your debtors would have some claim to it. When it came time to write the Declaration of Independence, They wanted John Adams to write it. He said no. He said let Jefferson write it. He went to his room, and for 3 days he wrote the first draft. In that first draft, which is available on the internet, he had a clause strongly denouncing slavery. It is known as Jefferson's Philippic against slavery. A good person will turn against something if they finally see it as evil. When he was president, he made a policy statement regarding Native Americans. I learned of this in a book of prose that a Native American lady, because I've been on this 58 years hoping for the magic moment, hoping to get my message out there.
Yeah, you feel like it's here? Almost coming? It's changed?
Well, the tide is turning,
Yeah.
but the tide is turning, but it's going to take about 7 Donald Trumps to turn this country around.
Yeah.
This country is so far downhill. The way they've been undoing America is by unbalancing it. They've been wiping out the small ranchers, the small miners, the medium-sized ranchers, the medium-sized farmers. They're taking the little people are the legs of this country. And when you take out the foundation of a country, it starts going down. This country's been going down for a long time. When a country gets unbalanced enough, it'll not only be going down, but it'll start going backwards. And this country has gotten to that point to where it's going backwards, unless the president can turn things around. He's the man to do it. He's the man with backbone. I voted for him because he has backbone.
They've waited all this time. They're going to go in there and there's no chairs. Yeah. They're going to stand there.
David Roberts. Yeah. Josh, with the floor.
Fake people, fake. So what is it that you guys are trying to resist? You have signs that say resist. What are you resisting? No, I would honestly like to figure it out. What are you resisting? What? Is that the best you got? There's got to be a better chance. Come on, guys, really? You guys are making this really boring. I got it. You guys are really boring. This rally's getting really boring, like what the heck? But why can't you guys, get more excited, excitement. Show more passion. Where's all the chants I've been hearing? I've been watching YouTube, and the people on YouTube have lots of chants. You guys don't seem to be that excited about stopping Trump.
He wasn't a politician. It was my first election voting in, and I was tired of seeing the status quo and just seeing the country not go anywhere, and seeing this guy's Donald Trump just step up and deliver a message that we can change this is why I voted for him.
Yeah. All right. What were the problems with the country that you were seeing before he came along?
Just lost, all these jobs are getting lost to other foreign countries. That was a big thing. Illegal immigration was huge. Living in Arizona in my life. Right. Second Amendment being thrown in.
So being a border state where illegal immigration.
I said that.
You think so? You want the wall to go up?
Yes.
Do you think that will make a difference? Yeah.
Well, every country has borders. Every country has laws.
USA!
So what do you think happens here tonight? What's
I hope that he pardons Arpaio. He's just doing his job. He's a great patriot for this country, and I hope that he delivers a message of unity.
And endorses Kelly Ward.
Yeah.
Kelly Ward?
Yeah, endorses Kelly Ward.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
What do you think about Jeff Flake?
I think that Kelly Ward. I think that Kelly Ward is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the swamp.
Yeah, he's the swamp.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
you said your name was
Timothy.
Timothy.
All you have to know is that I love Donald Trump, and I've loved him from the beginning, and he's going to do great things for America, and everyone will just have to wait and see, and re-elect him in 2020.
What do you love about him?
Oh, I love everything. I love what he stands for. I love that he loves America, and I love that he's not a mainstream politician.
So you like? Okay, the Latin.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What could he? Is there anything that you would like to see that he hasn't done yet?
Well, I just think that we need to give him time, and then he'll do what he needs to do. But I'd just like to see the stuff on illegal immigration and Second Amendment, make sure all that stuff stays safe.
All right, cool. Everything there is.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Brooke.
Brooke.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes, why?
What's your name?
Here. I'm Steven.
Steven. Nice to meet you, Steven.
Yeah,
Josh. So what brings you here? What? How are you feeling being at this event right now?
Feel good. I've never seen the president live before, so it's an opportunity. Don't want to pass up.
All right, nice. How are you feeling about the kind of stuff going across the street?
Oh, I don't care.
It's not really do their thing.
Yeah.
What do you?
It's their right. It's their right. That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you hope happens? Do you have any kind of expectations about what he's going to say?
No.
You just sort of go and just see what happens.
Yeah.
Are you?
It's a spectacle, so yeah, I support the president.
You do. Okay. What's some of the issues that brought you there?
Well, he's our president, so whether you like him or not, you got to support him. Yeah, and he needs the people's support to do the things he needs to easily do the things he needs. So.
After 6 months he's been in office.
Yeah, I don't think he's done anything too bad. It's kind of seems to go as normal as it goes. Yeah, I mean, they're always gonna be people with something to say about what he does.
I think it's been about.
Well, that's what makes America great. Is everybody has a voice to say whatever they want, to do whatever they want. I mean, you can support whatever you want. You can disagree with whatever you want. It's when the violence and the stuff happens that's the negative part of it. So.
All right, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. Steven,
have a good night.
Thank you.
I would say that there's a lot of ungodly activity. They're really violent. I think that they are what they claim that we are. A lot of the times, racist, sexist, all these other things. I believe that the cure to liberalism is Christianity. I think they should read a Bible, repent of their sins, and become a Christian.
Are you going to the event today?
No.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes. I voted for Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. But by the time we're done with these guys, it's going to be full. I realize that that's the truth, so I would go. I have gone in the past. I love going to the rallies, and it's a great event, so yeah.
What about what is it about Donald Trump that you support?
I support his immigration policy, his economic policy, reducing taxes, and I just think he's a overall good leader for our country right now.
Do you consider him a godly? Is he godly?
I don't believe, I didn't vote for a pastor, I voted for a leader.
All right. Well, do you think he'll be friendly to the religious community?
He's been very friendly with Christians, and I think he's been good.
How do you feel about Muslims?
Well, I think that Islam is an ideology, it's a religion that is counter-America.
Explain.
It does not fit in with our culture, it does not fit in with our way of life at all.
How so?
Because of their founder, Muhammad, and their belief system. Their belief system of killing, raping, and destroying, pillaging.
Okay. Do you think, how do we solve that problem, do you think?
Deportation.
What about
Levi or Dean?
I'm writing. Oh. How do you deal with American Muslims?
American Muslims?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. During war with Germany, a lot of the Germans were suspect. The Japanese were suspect we are at war with Islam right now. Everyone that believes that religion needs to be suspect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying deport all of them right now, but that's where we're at right now. We are at war with this religion that keeps on killing, terrorizing, running cars into people, blowing people up, all that other stuff.
The trampling at the zoo. We washed our hands of liberal blood and all the mongrel too.
It is? Okay.
We're taking down the leftist. Snowflake by snowflake.
Well, I mean, I believe as a Christian, evangelizing, telling them about Jesus Christ, and if they don't like it, they can go back to where they come from.
Why are you throwing a hippie fit now, you bunch of crybaby snowflakes? What I'm confused about. Are you taking down the statement that you hate racism?
What?
Or are you trying to destroy the
Yes,
history
of
of
course.
the Democrats,
that'll
the
be
KKK that your own party
Yes.
stood for? You're
It'll be the
hypocrites.
end of some things and the beginning of some other.
How do you
You
deal with
just
people
wanted to
like
pick up a sign and accuse everyone of being a Nazi. Shame on you.
feel like it's
God hates you. confused, wicked
There's always going to be
liars.
haters for whatever you do. You just do what you can.
Stop smoking
Don't let the
weed.
haters hate.
Stop getting
How long have you been doing
drunk.
this kind of stuff? Activism?
A couple
Maybe you
years.
understand what you really stand for. 'Cause right now you
Originally,
don't. I love
yes.
watching interviews of you liberals. You don't know anything about history.
Anything else to
You
say?
don't
Final
know
words?
anything
No.
about
So he was saying, I'll ask her, but for you. So you were saying that you guys agree on a lot of stuff, right? Yeah. Which I agree with. So why do you think there's such a separation between the two sides?
I would love to go over there and talk to them and give them hugs, but I feel they think because I'm white and I'm for Trump that I'm racist. But
What's the difference of opinion? Is there any? Like Black Lives Matter, like you agree?
no, I think we all just want what's best for everybody. Every life matters. That's
All lives matter.
my stance.
But Antifa is no different than the KKK or the neo-Nazi movement. It's the same thing. It's just in reverse.
Not a race, people.
Black people matter. Hispanics matter.
Where do they get this garbage?
Every color matters. And
Even if you're not American, you matter. It doesn't matter.
exactly.
You guys all killed.
I can cross the line and try to talk to them, but I don't believe they will. I take their horns, and then they'll talk over me. So.
Well, the only people that are violent in any rally are is on that side. So
But the idiocy of the left never ceases to amaze me because they're the ones bringing the hate. Our side isn't. Our side is bringing the patriotism. Our side is bringing the love of country, love of God,
nationalism,
support of our police, our veterans.
And we are against the KKK. We are against, I'm sorry, I am against the KKK.
Do you think that, I guess the administration's been forceful in saying that, what she just said? Do you think it would help if maybe someone like Trump, for example, said, I'm against the KKK like you said?
He did.
He did say that? Okay. Yeah.
Well, he said it's wrong. I mean,
But
so if
just
you're
like
saying
you
it's
said,
wrong, and he's
so
saying that
straightforward.
the problem is on both sides, which it is. Antifa is no difference than the white supremacy groups. Both sides are creating issues and problems in our country, and there's such a small portion
Okay, here's the
of
real
what our country
problem. Politicians.
is. Yes.
They only
And
care
media.
about their polling.
Sorry, but all media brings
They only care about their polling.
their
on
ratings.
both sides. On both
The
sides.
ratings, bringing things up, and all it does is just divide the country, and it's a lot easier to control a country that's divided than one that's united. And I think if we were united, all of us could agree on many things, and maybe some stuff would get done. But if it's smoke and mirrors. That's what they do. They create smoke and mirrors. They divide us, and the more they divide us, the more we cannot become united. So we need another Tea Party movement or something but maybe something that's not labeled to one side or the other that people can be drawn together to. It's just first finding a common standing ground that we can both say, hey, this is what we can stand for, and move from there. And there's always, none of us like the health care bill. I don't care, unless you're like on welfare and have cancer, it's not doing you any good. It's costing us a fortune. It's costing most people a fortune. And then you can't have the doctor you want. Nothing's good about it. Both sides agree with that. That's a good starting point. We both agree that the healthcare system sucks. So,
And what do you think we should do about it? Like, it's such a complicated issue, healthcare. Like, do we take care of our poor?
it is, and I mean, I'm not exactly a specialist on it or anything, but I think the first thing we could do is put it back to the power of the state. And I think we need to stop funding the states to where it's too much of a welfare. You have to take urinalysis, take piss tests before you get, the healthcare, to be on access here. Why don't they drug test them? You got to get drug tested to get a job, but you don't have to be drug tested to be on welfare, to get access, to have every other free thing that we're all paying for.
Do you think they're using drugs?
What's that?
Are they using drugs, do you think?
I don't know if they are or not.
Yeah.
But is it not a common thing that if you're going to get a job, you have to take a drug test? So if you're getting a whole bunch of free entitlements that we're all paying for that have jobs, shouldn't we know that you're actually not a drug dealer, pusher, user, sitting on your couch, living off of us and getting better health care than what we have for free? That's a problem.
And there's good and bad on every side.
Right.
So you can't just say, this is all good, this is all bad. Yeah. Who knows? We're not professionals. We don't study this, so.
I'm not a politician. I'm not a statesman. I'm not Blue Cross Blue Shield or one of those carriers that has actually been benefiting off of it. And then they turn around and we're got to raise your rates. If you don't raise it, we're gonna pull out. It's that's not right.
I thank these police officers, every police officer, every fireman, all of them. Their lives matter so much. And we thank them. No, we thank them. Every single one that we see, we say thank you. Please be careful. No. And we think we're hot. They're all suited up. So.
Right, gear and vests, yeah.
And you have the most beautiful eyes ever, by the way. I was them earlier. I was just like, oh my gosh. Sorry. I compliment people. I don't bring people down.
That's the way to be. So how are you feeling at this event right now?
I'm excited. We have a lot of people on our side, and we're very, very, very proud to be here for Trump.
Wait, you come from the area?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So what would be your one message to the other side over there, the mainstream media, if you say they gave you a minute to kind of give your side of things, what would you say to them?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to say the show of all the Trump supporters versus the people who are against Trump. We are 10,000 to 1 amount of people who are here in support of our president. He won fair and square, and we're here to prove that he deserves to be in office and that we support him. Yeah.
What are some of the main issues that got you to support the
wall? The wall.
The wall?
I want the wall built.
He's pro-America. He wants to get things fixed in America. He wants to get the bad people, the illegals who don't belong here, out of America. And that would keep America great and make America great again. And he's trying to fix things, and he's really doing a great job.
Yeah. Why do you think the illegals need to be pushed out?
Because if they're here illegally, they shouldn't be here. But I've known many people I'm in the hospitality industry, and I've known many Mexicans who have gotten citizenship legally and rightfully and do deserve to be here and raise their families here. However, when a lot of them come across the border, they have families here, and then they send all of their money back home. They don't even spend their money here and help our economy going. And they live 12 people to an apartment, and they're not doing anything to benefit the United States. They need to be here legally. We all have to get voter registration cards.
My family in 1907 came from Greece. We spoke no English. Within 6 months, we spoke English. We learned English, we assimilated. I'm Greek, but I'm American, number one.
And when billboards
are written in Spanish. I clip coupons, and coupons are now in Spanish. This is America. You know, if you're going to live here and be a legal citizen, learn our language. You know,
learn our culture.
And
we have a culture here.
Do you feel like they silo themselves in their own culture and kind of don't?
Some of the,
they
some
want
of
to assimilate. They don't want to assimilate.
I know a lot of Mexican Americans who deserve to be here, who work hard, work several jobs, have become citizens. They deserve to be here, but not the people who cause crimes and other religions too. People who should not be here. They're not Americans. They're not even trying to become a citizen or even do it legally.
My family came here. They would never take one dime from the government. They were so happy to come to America. All they wanted was a chance, not money. They wanted just one chance. That was it. And you know what? They became millionaires. Millionaires.
So, to move on to kind of a similar issue, what do you think about Islam in America today? Do you think they can coexist?
Yeah.
Well,
we can.
Within reason, if they will live by our American rules
Sharia
and
law,
laws.
not Sharia law.
Yeah. If they're in our country and they abide by our country's laws, yeah. You know. However, if they're going to start riots and kill people and bombings, and no, they don't deserve to be here. If they're here legally, if they can get citizenship like any other, you know, foreign person, do it rightfully and legally and go through the proper steps, yeah.
Right. How do you feel about like refugees, taking in refugees from Syria?
No, no. I mean, they haven't proven that it's done any good. And this is our country. We have plenty of people in our country as it is. And we have a lot of homeless people. We need to help.
How about the vet? Veterans.
Veterans? Oh, veterans that absolutely need to be taken care of, and if they've served our country, oh yeah, they definitely need to be taken care of. I thought you meant like Somalia.
No, he was saying vets, like in terms of taking care of.
Oh yeah, vets definitely. I mean, yeah, my father was in the service, and we know a lot of friends who were, and you know, absolutely, they should be taken care of.
My dad was at Battle of the Bulge in France.
Oh wow.
He just died, 99 years old.
He had a military funeral. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was wonderful.
Anyhow, thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Indian women, they love their pussy love. In the 80s, every white whore in New York was from Eastern Europe. We just had to pound that pussy to get any. Donald knows about it. He was at stores in the 80s. Remember when Reagan, they blew up those Marines in Lebanon, and fucking Reagan, we haven't been back to Lebanon. We treat it, you know, like the big pussy, the pussy of Lebanon. You know what we need is the Russians. Let's the Soviets back in Afghanistan, and this time we won't give Bin Laden missiles to shoot down their helicopters. The Soviets will punish them motherfuckers. They'll know which ones are outlaws, criminals, and thugs. Give them another shot. And they're all white, and it'll keep them warmed up in case they got to go into Ukraine. Okay, guys, let's get you got to remember, in the Second World War, 1 million Germans went into the Ukraine, and the Russians pushed them out. So I think it's pretty much Russian territory. And then you go to South China Sea. Fucking, it's called South China Sea. It's China Sea. It ain't called fucking Philippine Sea. Dumb as shit. They drill for oil. Vietnam was drilling for oil under Obama because they knew they backed them up. China told them to stop. Now they stop because they know there ain't no backup coming. And now look at our ships. We've lost 4 ships, and not one of them from another. But I worked for the defense contractor to build those ships in the 80s, and those fuckers won't sink. They'll take the first hit. They might not be able to fight ever again, but they'll fucking take it. They're crushable. They're made to take the hit. What the fuckers are doing is they're having training, and they're trying to hide by those ships, because if there's a submarine listening, you get the cavitation behind it. But what they don't realize, when the ship pushes up 100 yards out, there's water that up. When you get your ship up that, it's like a ski slope. It just draws you right in. Don't matter how fast you go. And that's what they're doing. Yeah, they've been trying to sneak in, like the one that ran aground. Well, he's trying to stay out of the cavitation, so he's
And that's what it's becoming.
That's because they're getting ready to really fight, so they're practicing hard. So if there's a submarine out there listening, you got to have it. But don't tell it. Don't put that on.
I know. Keep that a secret. Thanks, dude. All right, well,
hey, we can beat the Koreans, and we had the only atomic bomb, Eisenhower and MacArthur. You think we can do it with these losers who couldn't fucking take care of Arabs, for Christ's fucking sake, in 12 years? Give me a break.
Yeah, we actually want some real news. We're looking for some Trump supporters are giving you a chance to actually.
Sure. What do you want to know?
All right, so
please.
All right, go ahead. So if you had a message to tell the other side over there, the mainstream media, what would that be?
That we don't want any trouble. We just want to have a nice country and a good country and everyone to be successful and everyone to have opportunity. We don't like the hate. I want to say a prayer for the girl who was killed in Charlottesville. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. And we don't condone it one bit. Hate is hate. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. It needs to end in this country. That's what we think.
Why do you think that the side is being misunderstood?
Which side?
Let's say our side, Trump supporters.
The Trump supporters? Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I think Trump is an easy target. We can all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure beyond that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think? What do you expect to happen today? What would you like to see happen today?
I just came here to hear the President of the United States speak, and I hope that he talks about peace and unity.
Yeah, all right.
That's what I hope. I hope he talks about peace and unity and how we defeat our common enemies and how we come back together again as Americans, because we do live in a great country and it's wonderful.
What do you think about the announcement last night about the kind of ratcheting up the Afghan war a bit, adding 4,000 troops? Or
I'm not sure of the wisdom of that decision. I'll have to wait to see how it goes. I think if the purpose of that ramp up is to crush ISIS, then I think it's probably a good thing.
Well, you fight the war over there, you fight it over here.
Yeah, you fight it over there, you fight it over here. But we'll have to wait and see on that. I'm not sold on that yet.
Okay.
I'm not sold on that yet. Yeah.
So we were talking a bit earlier about refugees coming here. Speaking of kind of Middle East wars, refugees here. How do you feel about taking in refugees? I know in our state we've kind of put a cap on that. Do you think we should be taking in refugees? Or?
I think that we should be doing everything in our power as a great country to help refugees, but I think we'd probably be better off helping them in their own homelands. I think it's a drain on their societies if we're pulling their best minds and their people over here. I think we need to give them help over there and help them stabilize the region. I think that we shouldn't be doing any more nation building over there. We should be helping those people over there. Of course we should help them, but I'm not sure of the wisdom of bringing them here when they don't understand our culture and they don't want to assimilate into our culture. I'm not sure it's the best thing for them.
Okay.
Set up camps over there, safe havens over there. No need to come here.
Syria, places like that, yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Roger.
Rod. You want me to look there?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason why I support Trump is because he's making America better than it was, okay? All of this stuff about fascism, Nazism, racism was all coming from the Democratic. It's a political move. We really need to focus on what's right in America and what's wrong with America. And what's wrong with America is the taxes. What's wrong with America is health reform. What's wrong with America is the lack of jobs. And he's bringing these things to America. He's taking what was the swamp and he's draining it. And you know what? He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care what people say. He's doing what he needs to do. He's taking it like a man and like the man that why we voted for him. So I am all about, just making America prosperous again. Immigration, of course, we got to keep our borders secure, the war. We need to make sure that that we're taking care of our military. So he's changed things in the military. He's just done so many different things for America.
Talking about the border, we're in Arizona, border state, big issue here.
Yep.
So why do you think the wall? Do you think he'll get the wall?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
You think so?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, sorry,
I'm here to support the president. I'm here to support the country. Get a little dressed up and stand for what I believe in. It means a lot to me.
Cool. So where have you supported Trump since the start?
Since the beginning. What I liked most about Trump is I think we have this cancer of political correctness, and I think particularly in our youth, in our age group, people have become so damn sensitive. You can't hardly say anything to anyone without them getting offended. You know, 30 years ago, you wouldn't have a situation like that. People were more, you could talk, communication was more emphasized. You can sit down with somebody and disagree with them and then get back up and hug them. Nowadays, you can't hardly disagree with anybody. The second you have a conflicting belief, they label you as the enemy. And I think that Trump, in many ways, he represents a breakthrough out of that sensitive mentality into like, okay, we got people that have different beliefs. I don't care what the hell he says as long as he delivers on what he's going to do. That's the main thing. So,
what are some of your kind of major, like, some of his policies that you're kind of really behind?
I like this America First policy. I think we need a country that emphasizes its own people. There's been this push for globalism since Bush Sr. I think particularly that's when it started. And we've had this slow selling out of America and this war from the left on entrepreneurial capitalism. I think that their war against capitalism, their war against, you know, guys like us should be able to say, you know what, we're positive, we're enthusiastic, we know how to communicate with others. We should be able to go out in this world and be able to create a success out of ourselves, not be taxed to high hell and have unnecessary regulations infringing on our ability to succeed. I don't think we need that one freaking bit. That's the truth.
So how would you respond to, say, the crowd over there, right? If they're saying,
you know what,
you're racist.
Most of them were raised on formula. They weren't breastfed. Number two, a lot of them unfortunately have had traumatic pasts. They didn't really have a strong male figure. They didn't really have an alpha male that they grew up with. A lot of them grew up super sensitive. I'm not ragging on them, but unfortunately that's where we've kind of come. We have to kind of go back to the traditional values of what made our country great and focus on developing and building high quality human beings and reaching out and touching as many lives as we possibly can. You know, it's not about ourselves, it's about the big picture. And you know, our kids are gonna have to grow up in this country and we need a system of opportunity. So,
do you think that Obama, where's your views on him?
I think, you know, it wasn't a surprise that things were gonna go the way that they did with him. I don't think he was per se American loyalist. I don't think he was loyal to the American culture. I think he was more of somebody that came into the realm of leadership that had their own ideas of what America should be, rather than focusing on what enabled America to be the country that everyone wants to come to. You know, because this is where a lot of big business started here in America. You got a lot of successful people here in the United States that have come here because they've had a dream, they've had this American dream, and I think the progressive left is at war with competition. What they want is they want an economy and they want a country where everybody's the same and that there are no differences. And I just think that that's absolutely impossible, because we're going to have competition, we're going to have innovation, and you know what, people are going to get their way, and you know what, there's nothing that they can do about it. That's my philosophy.
One quick last question. How do we bridge the gap between this side of the street and that side of the street?
You know what? People need to be shocked a little bit. I think a lot of them, they just, they got some growing pains, because you think about it, they're right out of high school, you know, not such good past, not such good upbringing. A lot of people are confused in a way, and they don't really understand what's really going on. And I think the more aware they become, the more they can kind of create change in the people around them and communicate a positive message. And if you want opportunity, you want to get a job, you want to succeed, get yourself a haircut, learn how to communicate with people, study, work hard, put passion into what you do, and I guarantee you, any of those homeless liberal protesters that's been out of work for a year or two or living in their mom's basement, I guarantee you, if they clean their act up, they'd find themselves at the top of the totem pole, period. I mean, there's no other way around it. If you put in that kind of energy, what you put out, you get coming back to you.
Yeah, all right. Well, cool, man. Thanks. What's your
Thank
name?
you so much.
Johnny.